Welcome back to the channel, Decoders. This is Decoding with Cody, and this video is about Montreal, Canada, and about all the events that are coming that these elites of the Roman Catholic Church, the Jesuits, have planned for this world about their one world order. And this video may not be quite as smooth, but I hope that you guys all stick around because I've discovered some information that, honestly, a lot of people don't know about the Native Americans of Montreal and how this story is playing out right in front of our eyes. And what I have up for you right here is the Montreal flag, okay? And the reason that this is important before I get into this Montreal thing is because we just had the Super Bowl a few days ago where the Chiefs, the natives, won, beating the Eagle, America, right? And this theme of Chiefs and Native Americans and Indigenous peoples is going to be essentially the clues that we need to understand what the Jesuits, the Roman Catholic Church, who consider themselves to be the natives, right? So this is how I'm seeing it, guys. The Catholic Church, the Jesuits, the elites consider themselves to be the indigenous people of this world that they've created, okay? And the main thing here is that we just had the Super Bowl. We just had the Chiefs win. And tonight I'm going to show you how tonight's match between Roman Reigns of the WWE and Sami Zayn, who's from Montreal, I'm going to show you exactly how all this ties together. So the first thing you need to know is that Sami Zayn, the wrestler from Montreal, on the 28th of last month, he had been a part of the group in the WWE called the Bloodline. The Bloodline is led by the wrestler Roman Reigns, and his nickname is the Tribal Chief, okay? The Tribal Chief, like the Chiefs. Okay. He's been champion for over 900 days, one of the longest reigns in WWE history. When he loses his title, guys, we will see something big happen. I guarantee it. So he's been the undisputed title since last year's WrestleMania, but he's been a champion for over 900 days. Okay. His name is Roman, as in the Roman Catholic Church, Reigns, as in he reigns. And his nickname is the Tribal Chief. Okay, but last month, on October 28th, at the same event that the Pitch Black match occurred, and I'm going to get into this Blackout scenario that I've already been talking about, Sami Zayn, who had been part of the Bloodline, but he had been the honorary member. Notice that it says on his shirt, honorary Us, because Roman Reigns' bloodline is full of his own family members. Two of his twin cousins, and another one of his cousins that's the brother of these two. So there was five members. Okay, this is going to be an important number. There was 5 members in the bloodline. But Sami Zayn was not part of the actual bloodline. He was not actual blood with the rest of these related people, because these are all cousins and brothers. Okay, but Sami Zayn was allowed into the bloodline as an honorary member. And last month, he finally snapped and hit Roman Reigns, the leader, with the chair. The chair shot heard around the world is what they called it. The shot. Okay? And he finally, after a long time, and the crowd just erupted because everyone was anticipating this, turn of Sami Zayn against the bloodline. The reason that he turned was because the Roman Reigns and the bloodline were attacking Sami Zayn's friend, who's also from Montreal, Canada, Kevin Owens. And so he finally took the chair, and on the 28th of last month, he did this right here. And so now the match has been set for today, the 18th of February. I'm going to show you why this match is happening, how it's tied to the United Nations, the League of Nations, the tribal peoples, and this whole one world order that they're bringing upon us. Okay? So, and I also want you to notice the lays, the red, and this is the Templar colors, guys. This is the same color that Beyonce was wearing at the Super Bowl when the Chiefs won. The red and the white, the Templar colors, the Jesuit colors. All right? And the Templar cross has the same colors, okay? The Templars, the Knights Templar, which are the modern-day Jesuits who work for the Catholic Church, this is their symbol. And there's all kinds of different crosses, but the main one is just the plain cross, guys. And if you guys remember at the Super Bowl, Beyonce came out on a very similar thing, a cross that was red, and she was wearing red, and the other color was white, okay? But just notice the color similarities between the Canadian Montreal flag, okay, the Templar cross, and Sami Zayn and the Bloodline's colors. See? Red and white. We the ones. Red and white. Okay? And also the black, which, is also sometimes included in the color. But with that being said, I just wanted to get this connection to the Templar cross out of the way. Okay? Because it's all about the Jesuits, the Catholic Church, the Knights Templar. And the biggest thing here, guys, is that last night, one day before this match that's today, Sami Zayn came out to his hometown Montreal crowd. Here's him with the Canadiens mascot, the hockey team. Okay, notice the red beard, just like Sami Zayn has the red beard. And just like the red, guys. I mean, it's all about the red. And Sami Zayn came out in his hometown to an explosive audience, okay? And I'm going to decode all these posts that he made, because notice that he made this post for Montreal. And he posted this video about the whole storyline of how Montreal is tied to the wrestling history. And again, this is a history lesson, guys. This is a wrestling history lesson and the world history lesson that the Jesuits and the Catholic Church have given us. And that's what this represents. Okay? And let's take a deep dive into the flag of Montreal, because you're going to see here that it has the fleur-de-lis, which is representing the French. The red flower, which, let me go remember. The symbolism is this, guys. Montreal's flag, the coat of arms, now bears 5 symbols, just like there was 5 members of the bloodline, okay? There's 5 members. Before Sami Zayn betrayed, there was 5 members of the bloodline. Sami Zayn being the honorary member, okay? And the 5 symbols on the Montreal flag, where Sami Zayn is from, are the white pine that represents the Indigenous presence. Get it, guys? The Indigenous presence in the middle. The white pine, okay? The fleur-de-lis, okay, up here, represents the French, all right? The rose represents the English, okay? The English. I think this is a thistle. Yeah, the thistle represents the Scottish, and the clover represents the Irish, okay? Just so you guys can see, there's 5 nations here. The French, the English, the Scottish, and the Irish. And then in the center, the Indigenous. And where does this Indigenous white pine symbolism come from? Okay? Well, the Indigenous white pine symbolism comes from the Iroquois people, the native people to this area where Montreal is located. Montreal, Canada, located. And I just pulled up, just so you guys can see this Roman Catholic Jesuit presence, okay? There's 2 Jesuits. There's the Jesuits of Canada in Montreal, okay? And the Ignatian of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatian Spiritual Center, Montreal. So 2 Jesuit connections, and in Montreal, okay? And again, the Jesuits served the Catholic Church, the Pope, and just notice, guys, in Gematria, okay? Let me just simplify it. In Gematria, Catholic and Montreal a 2-cipher match, 35 and 46. Okay? And so you have this huge connection to the Catholic Church, and it's no coincidence that Sami Zayn is going to be fighting Roman Reigns in Montreal. Again, the Roman Catholic Church. Sami Zayn, born in the city of the Catholics, the Jesuits, Montreal. And he's fighting the Roman Empire in Montreal. Okay? And just notice that Sami Zayn posted the tweet, Sami Zayn is home in Montreal. Just notice that it's a direct match in 3 out of the 4 ciphers to the Jesuit order. Okay? I just showed you the Jesuits, the Catholics, clearly present, as they are in everything, but even more present and clearly present here in the city of Montreal, where Sami Zayn is from. And Sami Zayn is home equals 177.69, just like the Jesuit order. Okay? And don't forget that 201, that huge number, if you guys know anything about what Zach from Gematria Effect News presented and many other people, all right? So let's just, dive more into all of this, because the Gematria is going to really tell the story. But again, I just wanted to point out these first similarities between all of this, because it's obvious, guys, that this is the ritual. And it's fitting, guys, that this is happening on 2/18, February 18th, okay? I'm going to show you why. Because Holy Roman Empire equals 2/18. The Roman Empire equals 2/18, okay? So on 2/18, you have a match between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is also been said to use the word the Roman Empire, and that just happens to equal 2/18, just like the date February 18th. So like I said, guys, if we take away some of these extras, you're going to see it's a 2/18 and 74. Holy Roman Empire, the Roman Empire, today is 2/18. But what I really want to show here, guys, is the connection between the Iroquois nation, or the people who have their white pine right in the middle of this Montreal flag. Again, this is all about the Catholics and the Jesuits. However, the flag of Montreal tells us the story with the Templar cross, but the white pine in the center. And the white pine represents to the Iroquois people, the white pine is a symbol of the Great Peace. The false peace, the United Nations, guys. Okay? That united their separate nations into an enduring league. The League of Nations. The peace tree is related to the Tree of Light, a central symbol in Iroquois cosmology. Okay? So, with that being said, let's look into the Tree of Peace. The Tree of Peace finds its roots in a man named Decoding the Peacegiver. The legends surrounding his place amongst the Iroquois is based in his role in creating the 5-Nation Confederacy. The 5 nations, guys. Remember, the Bloodline had 5 members before Sami Zayn rebelled. But he was only an honorary member. Okay? The tree of Sami Zayn's hometown leads us to the Tree of Peace, which leads us to the 5 nations, which represents the Montreal flag. The 5 nations, the French, the English, the Scottish, the Irish, and the Indigenous, the 5. But the Indigenous are honorary because they're at the center. They're the ones who created it. So therefore, that's why Sami Zayn was honorary, because they don't need to be part of it. They are themselves the creators of it. You see what I mean? They're at the center of the creation of the United Nations, the League of Nations. And again, the Great Peace, the Tree of Peace, all right, leading to the 5 nations. It's absolutely clear. And right here it says, the great creation of the 5 nations was given a symbol. And that symbol was the white pine. The white pine lying right in the middle of Sami Zayn's hometown, Montreal, where he will be facing the Roman Empire tonight. On 218, the Roman Empire equals 218. All right? And again, guys, I just decoded these 3 posts that he recently made on Twitter, okay? One was, he's here, Sami Zayn is home. And I already told you that Sami Zayn is home is a direct match in 3 out of the 4 ciphers to the Jesuit order, okay? I told you that the Holy Roman Empire equals 218. Today is 218 when the match is taking place. All right? The Roman Empire, 218. Now, I just told you that there was 5 nations, okay? 5 nations equals 134, 53, 163, and 64. A direct match in all ciphers to Reformation. And if you guys aren't familiar, the Reformation, the Protestant Reformation, is a huge point in history in the story of the Catholic Church. The Protestant Reformation was to counter the Jesuits. Okay? But just the word Reformation is a direct match to the 5 nations, or the 5 nations of the Iroquois peace, okay, that I just showed you. The white pine. But what I want you guys to notice is that Reformation is a direct match to the 5 nations. But if you take away all these other numbers, you're going to notice one common number between all of these, okay? Let me just take them away and show you how this is all tied to the Jesuits, how it's all tied to this Reformation. Notice that the Jesuits equals 134, just like the white pine. The white pine is in the center of the Montreal flag. The Jesuits, the center, the Catholic Church. The Indigenous, they consider themselves the Indigenous, the center. Okay? Notice that the white pine equals 134, just like the Jesuits. And again, that 134 comes up in Reformation and 5 nations, which is what this is all about, the 5 nations, Sami Zayn from Montreal. Okay? And so that 134 is important, but if we bring this Reformation back into it, notice, guys, that the whole match, Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns equals 282, 102, 285, and 123, just like Protestant Reformation in all 4 ciphers, guys. All 4. So again, the reforming of the world, the one world order out of the 5 nations. Okay? One world out of 5, kind of like 1-5 or 5-1, which is a huge number, especially with the Bavarian Illuminati. Okay? Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit that founded the Bavarian Illuminati, equals 51. And, as a matter of fact, I believe that League equals 51. Okay? Like the League of Nations. And again, the 5 out of 1. 1 out of 5. So the 1 is the one world order in the middle. The Jesuits, the Catholic Church, creating their one world order, but they have 4 nations surrounding them. 4 and 5, but 1. You see what I mean, guys? There's 5 nations, but really there's only 1 at the center. Okay? So the 5-1. And, it's all connected to this. And the fact that Roman Reigns, his name is Tribal Chief, just like the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl against the American team, the Eagles. Okay? And remember, guys, this match is not taking place in America. It's taking place in Canada, which also represents Canada also being somebody that's going to take over America, right? But really, it's just the Jesuits, guys. It's the one world order, okay? And, I just wanted to decode a couple other things here. So I want you guys to notice the almost direct match between the Templars, which were the old, basically the Jesuits are the modern day Templars. Okay, Templars equals 137, 160, and 61, just like Montreal 137, 160, 61. The Super Bowl, which just happened, equals 56, 160, 61. Look at all the similarities, guys. And Washington, D.C., which is the headquarters of the current Rome, which, the United States is based off of Rome. And Washington, D.C. equals 5661, just like the Super Bowl, just like Montreal, just like the Templars. Just look at these 4 words at the bottom, guys. But I want you guys to focus on the 61s here. So let me take away all these other numbers because they all match, but I just want to focus on the 61, and I want to show you how it's all tied with Roman reigns. Notice that Roman reigns equals 61, just like all of these words. He's in... But this for Montreal, guys, the reason I put that in there is because Sami Zayn, in this video, he posted, just his last video he posted, for Montreal, a direct match to the Templars, which, the cross that the Templars have is essentially the Templars cross, okay? So he posts for Montreal in tribute to the Templars, okay? And this is connected to the Super Bowl that just happened because he's playing the tribal chief. The chief just won the Super Bowl, okay? And I'm not saying Sami Zayn's going to win this match, but I am wondering if they're going to make a very surprise moment. It would be a very surprising thing to see Sami Zayn win this match because he's the ultimate underdog. And with that being said, guys, Roman Reigns, his name equals 61. I showed you matching with all these other, but his name also equals 164 and 65, which is a direct match in 2 ciphers to League of Nations, 164 and 65. I also want you guys to notice that the Roman Empire equals 160, like the Templars, like for Montreal, like the Super Bowl, like, just like all these 3. The Roman Empire, which Roman Reigns is known by, equals 160 like the Templars, for Montreal, the Super Bowl. But again, guys, Roman Reigns 164, 65, just like League of Nations, which goes back once again to this League of Nations, the 5 nations of the Iroquois with the white pine, okay? And remember I showed you the white pine is a direct match to 5 nations and the Jesuits. And let's decode this other tweet by Sami Zayn because it says, he says this at the very end of his speech last night. Roman, you are going down. So I've been talking a lot about the power grid going down, all right? And in the October 28th event at Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn betrayed Roman Reigns, hit him with a chair. That same night, Bray Wyatt was having a pitch black match, okay? So just get the symbolism, guys. You have this event between Sami Zayn and Roman happening the same day at the pitch black match. And Roman, you are going down like America or the power grid, all right? And, just so you guys can see how the Gematria fits in with this. Now, actually, one thing I want to do before I get into that is I want you guys to notice that the white pine, which is the symbol of the Iroquois and the symbol in the middle of the Montreal flag, is a direct match to the Iroquois nation, 182. And the reason this 182 is important, guys, is because, again, you can write this date. You can either write it as 218, like Holy Roman Empire, or you can write it as 18-2, like Iroquois Nation, okay? And again, I just tied all this stuff together with why this is happening in the home of the Iroquois, and Iroquois Nation equals 182, just like today's date, just like Holy Roman Empire equals 218. So no matter how you write the date, 218, like the Roman Empire, or the Iroquois Nation and the white pine equal 182, all right? And just notice, guys, that the 18th of February, if you type it out like that, equals 218, just like the date. But just notice, all right, notice it has the 322, 18th of February, the Skull and Bones number. But just notice that the phrase that Sami Zayn tweeted, or the phrase he spoke last night before his match in Montreal, Roman, you are going down, is a direct match to 18th of February when the match is going to be taking place with a 110 and the 97. And that's not all, guys, because if you go up here, you're going to see, remember, guys, in my last video about blackouts, I talked about the Carrington event, which was the biggest electrical blackout event that there is. It happened in 1859 from a solar flare, okay? And this event is called the Carrington event, which equals 218, okay? Remember, the Super Bowl was 163 years and 163 days after the Carrington event. All right, solar flare equals 163. The two teams in the Super Bowl came into the Super Bowl with the record of 16-3. It was the Chiefs who won. But just notice, Roman is going down, you are going down equals 110 and 97. Just like Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns equals 110 and 97. Look at that, guys. These 110s and 97s. But look, guys, the Carrington event has the 97, just like Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, just like Roman, you were going down, just like 18th of February, 97. Okay? So do you see what this match, I'm not saying the power is going down today, guys. I'm saying that this is more predictive programming for later. This event is going to tell us, once again, as we get closer to this power outage event. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm thinking it could be a couple different dates this year. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I just wanted to point out the symbolism that's going on here. And one last thing, if I go to my page 2 here, the reason I'm thinking that May 4th could be a bit interesting day because it's 2 days before King Charles' coronation on May 6th. Okay? Notice that Indigenous equals 54. The Tree of Peace, which is what this is all about, the Tree of Peace, the bringing together of the world in one world tree, false peace. Okay? 54 in 2 ciphers. Just like Indigenous is 54 in 2 ciphers. But again, guys, right back to the Jesuits. The Jesuit order, 54, 153, like Indigenous. Remember, I told you that this represents the Jesuits, the Indigenous, and it just happens to be that Indigenous and Jesuits have that same match with Tree of Peace, which is setting right in the center of it, guys. The Tree of Peace setting right in the center. The Jesuits, 54, okay? Jesuit order, 54, Tree of Peace, 54, and the Tree of Peace is representative of the Indigenous, 54. Not to mention the 153 also there, okay? So just so you guys can see how big this is, all right? I'm going to be watching this match closely tonight to see what happens. And I'm sorry, this video was just more of kind of a spur of the moment. I didn't have it all gathered. I just wanted to get this video out, guys. Take care out there. I might have another part of this video coming up. There's a lot more I want to say, but we will get that in another video. So take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one.